Hello everybody. I am here for my findings on Matthew 7. And so we're going to dive right into that. I do apologize again for being a day late. I actually felt a little better today, so I was very happy about that. But, if you didn't know or you haven't heard already, I have pneumonia. So I'm kind of on the mend, but anyway, I'm here. So let's dive right into Matthew 7. Okay, so as we usually do, we're going to start right with the reading. So, judging others. Stop judging that you may not be judged. For as you judge, so will you be judged. And the measure with which you measure will be measured out to you. Why do you not notice the splinter in your brother's eye, but do not Why do you notice the splinter in your brother's eye, but do not perceive the wooden beam in your own eye? How can you say to your brother, let me remove that splinter from your eye, while the wooden beam is in your eye? You hypocrite! Remove the wooden beam from your eye first, then you will see clearly to remove the splinter from your brother's eye. Pearls before, and so actually I'm going to just go here this time because I didn't like the way I did it last time. So of course what this means, and I think this is kind of self-explanatory anyway, this means to look at yourself before you judge others. We all have flaws and we all have sinned. We need to fix ourselves first before we can set out to judge another. Pearls before swine. Do not give what is holy to dogs, or throw your pearls before swine, lest they trample them underfoot and turn and tear you to pieces. So do not waste good things on people who do not appreciate them. The word of the Lord, for instance, when you try to tell unbelievers about God and the Bible, it's usually a waste of time. Share with those willing to listen, not those who will ridicule you. And then I just put here, cast your pearls before swine. The answer of prayers. Ask and it will be given to you. Seek and you will find. Knock and the door will be opened to you. For everyone who asks receives, and the one who seeks finds. And to the one who knocks, the door will be opened. Which of you would hand his son a stone when he asks for a loaf of bread, or a snake when he asks for a fish? If you then, who are wicked, know how to give good gifts to your children, how much more will your heavenly Father give good things to those who ask him? And here it's pretty simple. I think that all we have to do is pray and ask God. And that doesn't mean God's going to give us everything that we ask for, because we ask for it. But, sometimes I think God knows best and gives us what he knows we need. The golden rule. Do to others whatever you would have them do to you. This is the law and the prophets. Treat people the way you wish to be treated. And over here, so the golden rule. The way to salvation is hard for many. And it is easier to go the wrong way. It is easier to go the wrong way than the hard way. To have a better path to God. So, basically speaking, the way to salvation is hard because it's to, do the right things all the time. We're human. And, there's sometimes we don't. There are other people on the other hand that, they just are not good people. And, unfortunately, I guess we have to pray for them because their path to God is a lot less. As long as you're repentant of what you've done. Doesn't mean you can go out and sin every single day, but as long as you know when you've done wrong and ask God for forgiveness, then, God forgives. False prophets. Beware of the false prophets who come to you in sheep's clothing, but underneath are ravenous wolves. By their fruits you will know them. Do people pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? Just so every good tree bears good fruit, and a rotten tree bears bad fruit. A good tree cannot bear bad fruit, nor can a rotten tree bear good fruit. Every tree that does not bear good fruit will be cut down and thrown into the fire. So by their fruits you will know them. And so here is false prophets, those claiming to be people of God, but who are actually out for money, or at times they can be cult leaders who we've seen on the news many a time. People that follow them, and they just take advantage of them, which is really, really sad. And many false prophets will appear and deceive people. I did forget to show you this one when we were talking, ask and you shall receive. All we have to do is ask, and God's will be answered. Again, God's will. He knows what's best for us. And take my book down a little bit here because I'm short and I can't see. Okay. All right. Father in heaven, many will say to me on the day, Lord, Lord, did we not prophesy in your name? Did we not drive out demons in your name? Did we not do mighty deeds in your name? Then I will declare to them solemnly, I never knew you. Depart from me, you evildoers. The two foundations. Everyone who listens to these words of mine and acts on them will be like a wise man who has built his house on a rock. The rain fell, the floods came in, and the winds blew and buffeted the house. But it did not collapse. It had been set solidly on a rock. And everyone who listens to these words of mine, but does not act on them, will be a fool, like a fool who built his house on sand. The rain fell, the floods came, and the winds blew and buffeted the house. And it collapsed and completely ruined. When Jesus finished these words, the crowds were astonished with his teachings, for he taught them as one having authority and not as their scribes. So for this one, for the true discipline does not boast about praising the Lord's name. It is the thing that you do quietly that only God knows. It's about doing good. It's about being the sort of people God wants us to be. These are the people who are in favor with the Lord. And on the two foundations, this seems simple. If we do what the Lord asks of us, our foundation with him is strong. Then our house, our faith, will be strong. If we choose to follow a different path, then our foundation, our house, will be on weak ground. And so I found that Matthew 7 had a lot to say about what, being a path to God, what being with him at some point, and it's, what you need to do. And, how basically we have to be like God, or we have to, I shouldn't say we have to be like God because we can't, but we have to follow what he wants, to be a good person, to do good things. And while it sounds easy, it's like, oh, wow, I'm a good person. Yes. I mean, I think we all try to be good people. The majority of us, but there are some people that we know aren't and don't even, don't even try to be. And I don't know, sometimes that people don't care, or they just think it's all, a story, whatever the case may be. And some people just don't believe. And the older I get, and I think mostly, after my mom passed, it's like I want to be with her. I want to be in heaven with her. And not because, and that sounds wrong, and I know it does, it's not because I never thought about going to heaven, or anything like that, or tried to, or worked towards it, but I know that I got lost along the way, a little bit. It was after my divorce, and then, I prayed a lot, and God was there for me. When they tore our church down, I think a lot happened in a small amount of time, that I felt like a lot of loss happened, but a lot of gain happened for me, because I was in an abusive marriage. And so I got left with nothing. I had 3 children, and I had to figure out how to support us, and it made me stronger. But it was difficult, because I had all children under 17. My youngest was 5. So, and then my other daughter was, I don't know, 15, 16. So, yeah, there was a lot going on. A lot I found out after the fact, and it wasn't good. So I had to deal with that, and I did a lot of praying. But then they took our church down, and I took that really bad. I was very angry about it. And it wasn't like I was mad at God or mad at, I wasn't mad at God or anything like that. And I wasn't angry at my faith. I was just angry, I think, at the church, and, that they took it away. It's like taking your home away. And I know they say, oh, well, you go to another church and everything. The thing was that my children had all their sacraments there. My dad's funeral was there. And so when you go that many years to a church, and they take it away and they close it, it hurts. And I think other people that have had that happen can relate to that. So then I just decided, well, I was just angry, and when they tore it down, that was it. And there was many of us who just didn't go to the church they wanted us to go to. And so, looking back now, I realize that, probably wasn't the right, decision, but I was very, very angry about it, and I'm not going to lie about it. It was what it was. And then my mom, let me just say, though, that didn't mean my faith stopped. I still prayed, and I prayed at home, and, I still had my faith. I was just angry at the church, or angry at our diocese, I guess. And so, then my mom passed away, and everything changed. I was lost. I was in a hole, like a deep hole that I was just sinking into. And, as I told you before, scrolling along on Facebook, how to become a minister, not realizing a Catholic woman can't be a minister, but, I did not know. But I kind of feel like that was God and my mom, and, maybe she was like, you need to help her, because, yeah, she's stubborn. She's got to do something, And so, that's how that's how the Little Chapel of Faith started. Even though I couldn't be a minister, when I found that out, I was like, oh, shoot. I was a little sad about it, but I was like, well, I still have the ministry I started now. And of course I looked it up, and, and I found out, yeah, I can have a ministry as a woman. So I'm like, okay, well, then I'm just going to spread the word of God and the Lord. And here we are, So my faith has blossomed even more than it ever was, ever probably, and that's a good thing. I found my way back. Again, not that I ever lost my faith, because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for God. Praying and Jesus and Mary, I would not be here. I want to specify that. Even though I was mad at what the diocese did to the church, I never lost my faith. But I have, like, even more now. And I'm glad. A good chunk of my day is spent, in my faith now. And I'm happy that I'm reaching so many people. And hopefully, even in reading, something, doing these Bible readings, or what I'm finding, maybe it'll make some people stop and listen. And, maybe it'll do something for them as well, like it's done for me. So, I'm trying, I guess what I'm basically trying to say is that God was able to seek me out again, and well, not out again, and I keep saying that because that sounds wrong, but I found my complete way back, I guess, home. And so I'm happy that this is where I'm at this point in time. It's what I need. I needed it right along. And so here I am. And I don't know, maybe God chose me to be one of the people to spread the word. It's kind of funny because right now the TikTok page has 530 something people. Our YouTube page is growing, like we're up to 4,300 people at this point. It grows every day, at least close to, almost 100 people. And it's not anything I'm saying, because they just, the videos I post like this, they don't seem to go very far, and I'm okay with that. It would be nice, some of these, like, with at least the Bible readings, I would hope they would find some interest in, and some people do. They look, but the ones that seem to really, it's heartwarming, because when I post the Jesus, I usually do the messages from Jesus, which are Jesus quotes, and the Blessed Mother. The views and the comments, they're daily, and there are people, they're just, it's as if when I post that, like they're talking to Mary right there, and to Jesus, asking them for help for their child, help for themselves. Some of them are like, they're sick, or there's a problem, please help me. And if I can provide that for them, where they feel like they have a place to come, like on something like YouTube, and are able to feel like they're talking to, they can do that praying privately, of course, but for whatever reason, those Mary and Jesus seem to draw them, and it's, for me, what I see or feel is that they have found a place where they can, ask them, Jesus and Mary, for their intentions, and that's a beautiful thing, and so when you're touching people all around the world, and you're putting something there, and it has nothing to do with me, it has to do with Mary and Jesus, and you're giving them any kind of comfort in them doing that, then I've done a lot. So, I guess that's kind of the long version of what I find here, is basically, basically God, the Lord saying, just be the best Catholic you can be and be the best person you can be. And that doesn't mean I'm not going to make mistakes. And that doesn't mean, I'm going to be perfect, because I'm not. And I never will be. I don't, I know that. Something real quick before I end this. It's funny because, and I think I've said this a long, long time ago, but I didn't quite have as many people at that point. But when I was like 29, and I hadn't met anyone, and I was engaged prior, but then that ended, and I thought if I didn't get married, I was going to become a nun. And I was always kind of between being a mom and being a nun, and I don't know why. It just was, like I said, I was extremely, extremely religious, and not that I'm not now, but I was, for a young person especially. And it's nice to see that a lot of more younger people today are becoming more, because we need more people to come to the Catholic faith. But I was, it was always something I teetered, and I could imagine myself being either. So now I'm at least kind of doing something that maybe had I been a nun, who knows, or whatever, I might be doing. So anyway, I don't want to make this a story of my life, but it's kind of where I went with Matthew 7, and, just about, being a good person, understanding that we can ask the Lord for, pray to Him. It doesn't always mean that we're going to get what we ask for, but that He will give us what He knows we need. And we may not know we need it at that moment, but at some point you'll understand it was what you needed, and yeah, so that's what I got. I would love to hear if anybody got anything else out of that, or maybe I took it, we all take it, I think, when we read the Bible. I think we all interpret things differently, but this is my interpretation of what I'm reading, and this is what I got out of it. And basically, we need to stay strong, we need to stay faithful, we need to know that the Lord is there for us, and we just need to be the best we can be, so that someday we can be with Him in heaven. And what a wonderful thing that will be, So that is it for now. I made it through without coughing. This is great. I did tell you I do feel a little better today. So I will be posting the new Matthew 8 shortly. So look out for that. And again, please just if you do have access to Facebook, just take a stop on our page there, because there's just so much that I can't post anywhere else. I can share, although I am starting to put playlists on the YouTube page, so that at least what I post on Facebook you can see on YouTube. So if you do go to the YouTube page, look at the playlists, because there's stuff there too. I'm starting to incorporate on the page. So that is it. Have a great night, everyone. God bless. And I want to thank you all for being part of this ministry. It means a lot, and I'm glad we could share it together.